Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into the treasure map for the 10.5 anniversary for Vega-Punk 5+ against Lucario and Zoro Judo. And in today's video, we're going to be utilizing the rare recruits from the new batch. So basically, in today's video, I'm taking into consideration that you guys summoned on the 10.5 anniversaries. You might have picked up Roger Rally Gaban, and you picked up the rare recruits for either the Roger Rally Gaban batch, as well as the Big Mom category Kaido King batch. Now, I'm not including the Kaido King and Big Mom category legends. In today's video, I'll do a separate video for those legends. I still have to get Kaido and King once their banner comes out today. After that comes out, I'll put out those videos and you guys can sort of suss it out there if you did some combinations of, say, the legends with the rare recruits. Today, we're focusing on just the rare recruits, having either both of them or having one of them. And now, I'm only going to be doing the final boss teams against the Intrusion Vega-Punk and the Luffy Taro Zoro Jiro fights. The mini bosses, you can sort of just like go over to my other video, suss that out, use those teams if you guys want to. Today, we're just focusing on the big boy final boss team. So with that said, let's dive into the treasure map cruise. And if you enjoy the video, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. With that said, let's take a look at the teams. Alright, so starting off, if you just pulled Shanks Ben Beckman and you do have Roger Rally Gaban, you can actually put together this against Luffy, Taro, and Zoro Judo. Now, Magellan 5+ is just fantastic for these fights, so hopefully you manage to get the skulls for him. But with this particular team, you could probably get away with not using Magellan because you can just use Roger Rally Gaban. Strength, Dex, and quick characters get all the good stuff. Bottom row gets special reverse. Normal attacks only. Top row gets a spared. Attack down if you're below a 3 or above a 3.6 chain multiplier. Then on the final stage, the boss is weak to powerhouse. You get paralysis. Normal attacks only. Burn. Immune to defeat specials. Full immunity except increased damage taken, which obviously Shanks Ben can do, which works out greatly. And then you have an attack down if you have any type orbs. Once you defeat Luffy and Zoro, they come back with 15% HP. You get top row paralysis, full board of Dex orbs, special bun on your top row, and then 4 turns of crewmate below away. Something to note in today's video, we're using a Big Mom Katakuri friend captain for all of these teams. Just be mindful of that. And the big reason we are doing that is because they make your crew immune to blow away. That is pretty much the only reason they're here. The only other option you guys have is Treasure Map Frankie. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people don't have Treasure Map Frankie unless you got lucky and picked him up on part 1 of this particular banner. So, team looks a little bit like this. The big reason we are using Magellan 6+ as our captain is you can bypass the paralysis. So on the final stage, there's paralysis, and then on the revive, there's more paralysis. So utilizing him here works actually really, really well. He has double special activation, so you can get type advantage, attack boost, remove the burn on the final stage. Works out nicely. On stage 2, you want to use the Big Mom Katakuri friend captain. That way you get a full bulk of assembler slots, and you remove the despair, and then you can use Kuzan to give yourself a 3-turn chain lock. Utilizing the 3-turn chain lock with this particular unit allows you to bypass the attack down below a 3 and above a 3.6 chain boundary. And then when you get his special back here, you can actually lock the assembler slots, which works out very, very nicely. On the final stage, you will still have the full board assembler orbs. You remove the paralysis with Magellan as captain, and then basically you can utilize the double Magellan special to get around the burn, you get around the paralysis, you get attack, you get poison, because remember Magellan, he actually poisons through full immunity, and then you can just kill with that. That's pretty much all you need to do. You don't need to use anyone else's specials. You do want to save Vega-Punk for the final stage, and ideally you want to save Shanks Ben Beckman as well. Shanks Ben Beckman will give a Jason Orbs tandem, and I believe Big Mom Katakuri make tandem orbs into assembler slots. So utilizing this, I mean, look, you just need to not have type orbs, so that way you can get around the resilience. Sorry, you can apply the what am I trying to say? You can apply the increased damage taken, and you should be go from there. You can then switch with Big Mom and Katakuri to give yourself another tandem orb. But you also have Roger Rally Gaban for 3 turns of an attack boost for your strength, int, and slasher characters. So, like, some of these characters are going to hit a little bit harder, but remember to use Roger Rally Gaban like before utilizing Shanks Ben Beckman. If you don't have Roger Rally Gaban, honestly, you can just replace him with any high point booster here. That'll definitely work fine. Once you do hit the revive, though, you are basically going to have to cop that attack down below a certain chain. So this is where Vega-Punk comes in. Vega-Punk, you can activate his special and get a 1.3 chain boost. That's going to work nicely because it puts you at the ending at a 3.8 times chain. And with that, you can get between the 3 and the 3.6 and tap with your powerhouse units there. You probably need to tap with like a fodder unit first. That'll start your chain at like 2.6. Your next unit will hit for about 2.9, and then the third unit will hit over the 3 times chain. So just be mindful of that. The last unit obviously is going to hit over that as well. So you probably want to tap with like Vega-Punk, Kuzan, into Shanks, Ben Beckman, Magellan, Big Mom, and Katakuri, and then finish it off with like Roger, Rayleigh, Bond, because they're going to be over that chain. Or you can just miss at the start, and that way you're at least getting your final tap to be very, very strong there too. So that's the team with Shanks, should work nicely. With Shanks on the Intrusion fight, we're doing something like this. On my no new batch team, totally glossed over this particular Shuradoji. If you guys don't have the Sabo support, you can definitely use this guy. He has a 2-stage special, which means that if he gets the 5 turns of special reverse, he's still getting the 4 turns of special bind removal. And then obviously with Garp, he's allowing you to remove 3 turns of it, so that way you can get around 5 with this guy here. Works out really, really nicely. Plus he's a quick powerhouse unit, which means he has type advantage. He's getting the powerhouse resistance down and stuff like that as well. On battle 1, powerhouse driven, and I believe it's slasher characters. I don't actually remember. Yeah, slasher, powerhouse driven, get all the good stuff. On battle 2, that you get poison, normal attacks only, pain, resilience, and immunity except for increased damage taken. If you use an attack boost, type effect boost, or a chain boost, you're going to lose all your beneficial effects. And then on defeat, you lose 1 random crewmate to blow away. So again, having Big Mom Katakuri means you can just bypass this. On battle 3, your middle row gets 5 turns of special reverse, as well as every crewmate getting 5 turns of special bind. 1 turn of a 3-turn tap limit, normal attacks only, full immunity except increased damage taken. 10 turns, which will go down to 7 after sockets respectively for your top and bottom row for binds. 5 turns of slot bind on the middle, and then 2 turns of a hit barrier for 30 hits. So a lot going on in this final fight. But Magellan on turn 2 basically takes care of everything. You can activate his super type, and then that way you just bypass the poison, and you apply a poison so you can get around the resilience. Remember, with Magellan level in break 5, his poison is going to bypass all immunities, so that way you can just get this off. With that, that's pretty much all we're doing for stage 2. Ideally, that should be enough damage, but we do have Roger Rayleigh Gaban here. You could definitely bink the Roger Rayleigh Gaban special on turn 2 as well. That's going to remove the pain, but if you don't have Roger Rayleigh Gaban, just replace him with like Vega-Punk. Do I have Vega-Punk with him? Yeah, just replace him with Vega-Punk, and then you could probably use a Vega-Punk special there to get the chain boost. But remember, you're not going to be removing the pain at this point, and you will be taking 8,000 damage every single time you use a special or do anything. But Magellan does heal back 50% of the damage from the previous turn. So you're going to be like, you're going to get healing a little bit, and then Big Mom Kaido, Big Mom Katakuri, they heal a little bit. So you can get some HP back after utilizing the 2 specials on turn 2 without removing the pain. And because everyone's boosted, you're going to have a lot of HP on this particular team anyway. On the final stage, your top and bottom row are going to get blinded. So we need to remove that, but your middle row gets special binded. Your bottom row gets special binded too, but you also get 5 turns of special reverse. Kuzan bypasses 5 turns of special reverse with his Sailor. He's just so good for this fight. He's such a good free-to-play character. And then he also gives you a chain lock, 2 turns of special cooldown, as well as locking orbs and stuff like that if you want to do that. But the problem is, you are going to be special bound. So with the Garb support, you can remove 3 turns on everyone, and then use the Ashura Doji, as I mentioned earlier, to then bypass the rest. He's going to give you base stats and an increased damage taken for defense down, but I don't think you take damage from Big Mom Katakuri, so that way you don't apply the defense down. He's just basically here to remove the special one. That's basically his big gimmick, and because the special reverse puts him into his stage 1, like, it's really not that big of a deal. So once you've done that, you get access to your bottom row characters. Kuzan removes all the blind with his 7 turns of blind removal, and then you can just utilize the Shanks Ben Beckman character to get around the the barrier. You also play increased damage taken, and then you have an attack boost, color affinity with Magellan, Big Mom Katakuri giving you all buff, and basically you just kill. So that's with Shanks. Should work quite nicely. If you pull Blackbeard though, you can do something a little bit like this. Now, the idea with this particular team is we're actually going to start as Roger Rayleigh Gaban, switch out of Roger Rayleigh Gaban on turn 2, and then go into Magellan. Now, on turn 2 with this particular fight, your bottom row gets special reverse, your top row gets despaired, and all that kind of stuff. Realistically, all you need to do is make sure that you have Kuzan down the bottom, and that's all you need. If you swap into Roger Rayleigh Gaban, though, that gives you access to their Super EX. Actually, no, you might not. Oh, maybe Blackbeard. I don't know, Blackbeard might give it to you, but I can't remember. But it gives you access to the Super EX if you want to use it. But at the end of the day, if you literally just did this, like, that's not a big problem either. That way you don't have to worry about switching at all. But having Roger Rayleigh Gaban switch allows you to get some matching orbs on turn 2 as well. Use the Kuzan special, use the Big Mom Katakuri special. That gives you the Semler slots, gives you the chain lock, and then you're good to go there. On the final stage, Magellan as captain gets around the paralysis. He double special gets around the burn. You still have the Semler slots thanks to the orb locking shenanigans from Kuzen. And then on the revive, you basically just don't have to worry about anything because you have the blow away removal with Big Mom Katakuri and then the paralysis removal with Magellan. Downside to this particular team is that you are going to be struggling a little bit with the orbs. Unfortunately, we don't really have anyone that can kind of give us the tandem orbs or anything like that, or the assembler slots that Big Mom Katakuri actually need. The Shiryu Blackbeard character isn't that great if you just have Shiryu Blackbeard because Magellan is just so good for the final fight anyway. So they do remove poison, they do remove burn. So I mean, if you don't want to use Magellan here, you want to use something else, you definitely can. But I find that just like using Magellan is just like so good. You can get a whole bunch of what's it called? You can get a color affinity buff with the Shiryu and Magellan unit as well. So you could definitely use them on turn 2. So that way you can sort of carry it into the final stage if you need a little bit more damage and whatnot. But realistically, the only thing I can really see this being a problem with is that you aren't going to have the assembler slots for the revive, and then you have that attack down if people have Dex Orb. So just be mindful of that, and if you need to, like, you might need to just replace, like, Roger Rayleigh Gaban with someone else that can give some sort of orb blocking ability. You could probably use something like, I believe I still have it up, you have the Jinbei support, right? You could use the Jinbei support on Roger Rayleigh Gaban, and try and lock some orbs, or you could do it on Kuzen and lock some. Well, Kuzen's already using special, so that's kind of null and void. Probably using on Roger Rayleigh Gaban would be the best option, but ideally you want to use the Roger Rayleigh Gaban special on the revive, so that way you at least have like another attack boost for some of your units here. Remember, we're only going up to 10 million points. Like, I mean, you have the rare recruit, so you can probably go a little bit further, but ideally, you could just replace Roger Rayleigh Gaban with some sort of orb blocking unit there. As for the Intrusion fight, again, we're using Magellan as captain. If you have 6+ Magellan, he's just so good. The difference between this and the Shanks build, basically, obviously, we just replaced Shanks with Shiryu and Blackbeard, and then we're utilizing Nami Karina to get around the barrier. We're still using the Kuzen and the Ashura Doji strat to take care of this special bind. That works great, and then you just use Nami Karina to remove the 2 turns of barriers. If you don't have Nami Karina, you can use the free-to-play Sanji with any Luffy support. That's going to cover you. He basically is a 1.2 times booster, I believe, and he removes 2 turns of barriers. This guy right here, he's a powerhouse character too, so that works great. And then basically, just like I said, use any Luffy support, so that way you get that coverage there. As for the Blackbeard and Shiryu unit on this Intrusion fight, they're basically designed to take care of this poison, but yeah, Magellan's just so good that he takes care of it for you, and then applies the poison to get around that resilience debuff. So they really want you to obviously use like Kaido and King here to get around that resilience, but we're not using him, so you want to use Magellan in that place. To take care of the pain, we're just going to tank it. Like, again, you don't really need Roger Rayleigh Gaban to take care of the pain here. But with this particular build, you are losing a lot of extra points because, like, you just need that barrier removal. And unfortunately, that means you just can't bring Vega-Punk. But, like I said, Magellan's going to take care of turn 2 very, very nicely. You could probably use the Magellan special, so that way you get an attack boost on turn 2 here as well, because remember, you're not doing anything else. Oh, actually, no, you can't use an attack boost because it gets actually blown away. You can use the Shiryu and Blackbeard special, though, because that will actually, that will trigger a non-removable ability. But then you're stuck with pain as well, so like, then you're at low HP, so you got to be very, very careful with the pain and utilizing Blackbeard and Shiryu. They're just not a very good unit for this particular fight, which is kind of annoying. Utilizing Kuzen, Shura Doji on stage 2, like I said, that's going to work out really, really nicely for you guys. Hopefully you have enough damage to take down turn 2. If you don't have enough damage, you're probably going to have to look at using the Big Mom Katakuri special, and then you can bring some sort of like, well, I mean, if you're using, no, Nami's an attack booster, isn't she? You can bring like some sort of other support for, what's it called? For a all buff on the final stage, something like that. But that's the team there. It should work nicely. If you pull both rare recruits though, you will be able to get a buttload more points. If you have both rare recruits, you can actually use Magellan over on the fight that Magellan's intended for in the mini-bosses. So, with the Luffy Zoro fight now, we're actually going to use some characters to get around the paralysis instead of utilizing Magellan. On turn 2, your bottom row gets special reverse, top row gets dispelled again. We're still using Big Mom Katakuri, we're still using Kuzen in that particular slot, and that's going to work out really, really nicely. With this team, though, you do want to use this swap of Roger Rayleigh Gaban on turn 2, so that way you switch into captain and you get their captain ability there. As you can see, I just have like Blackbeard and Shiryu there. You want to make sure that you switch into Roger Rayleigh Gaban. You don't have Roger Rayleigh Gaban, then obviously you just use Magellan, just like you guys saw before, and that way you just can have a stronger build that way. Switching into Roger Rayleigh Gaban is going to allow you to get their EX because you have Shanks on the team. And then to get around the paralysis and the burn, you have the Shiryu, what's his name? Shiryu and Blackbeard combination for the burn. And then for the paralysis, you actually have Shanks. Now, Shanks only removes 5 turns unless you use the double special here, but I do have some other supports to take care of a few more paralysis turns. We have the Kizaru and then the Lime Juice. They take away 1 turn respectively. Shanks removes 5. And then when you get hit with the special, you get hit with the paralysis, again, you can utilize Vega-Punk for 5 turns and then use Shanks' second stage special, so that way you get another 2 turns, so you got 7 turns all up. Shanks is going to give Tandem Orbs, which will return to Assembler slots, and then Kuzan's locking slots from the turn before that. So you have a lot of actual, like, Assembler slots throughout the entire run. You can use Roger Gaban's special for an attack boost for 3 turns. However, it's only affecting Strength, Int, and Slasher characters. So if you want to swap out Roger Gaban for more damage, you could just easily bring in Magellan for this particular team, and that should work out pretty nice. Remember, you do need to use Vega-Punk for the paralysis removal and the chain boost on the revive, and other than that, the team should work out fairly nicely. As for the intrusion, we are still using Magellan because, again, Magellan just takes care of turn 2. he just covers turn 2 so nicely. But you could probably use the what's it called chip? This one, right? The Dreadnought Saber. Where is it? The Dreadnought Saber. This one, he does end of turn damage, and if you max it, you're obviously getting a lot more like good stuff here as well. Being a driven and powerhouse boosting ship as well, which works obviously great for Big Mom and Kaido, King and Katakuri in respective to their actual teams. But you could use that, and then you could just use Roger Gaban as captain. Obviously, Roger Gaban and some of these other characters aren't going to get any buffed, but like, who gives a shit? Like, it's going to be fine. And that way, you just use Roger Gaban to get around the what's it called? The pain debuff. So there's that. As for this particular team, though, you can use the Shiryu Blackbeard special on that turn as well, but it really just depends on like if you can actually do enough damage to take down stage 2 without using anything else besides Magellan. If you have to use something else besides Magellan, like obviously we'll just use Roger Gaban, and then you just use Blackbeard and Shiryu to remove the poison. To remove the special one, we still have the Kuzan strat with Garp. We are using a Shiridoji once again, but again, you can use a Luffy with a Sabo support that's going to cover you. And then to remove the bind, you have either Roger Gaban as your captains, depending on what you're doing, and then you have Kuzan with his double special activation to remove the rest of the binds there as well. Shanks and Beckman, they're going to apply increased damage taken. They remove the barrier for this particular team as well. And then you have Big Mom Katakuri to remove the slot bind and all that fun stuff too. So they're the teams. If you guys pull the RECUITS, hopefully they help you guys out. I'll try my best to do runs with this sort of stuff, but like, it all depends on my timeline tomorrow when I'm at work and whatnot. But enjoy the video, about like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, with you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Loads!